welcome back to my channel. It's been a busy month. Of course, we have Cam here, who's always super excited, aren't you? Are you happy? Are you happy? You are happy. You are. So I ended up getting sick this month, which was fantastic. I didn't stitch for like 2 days, and I'm not usually a person that like sleeps a lot when I get sick. Like usually like I'm up and I'm running around and I'm doing all the things, but all I did was sleep for about 2 days straight. I may have been awake for about 4 hours. My poor husband, he was running around here like a chicken with his head cut off trying to get everything done. What else did I do? I see you, Cam. I see you. I do. And then Grandma Joanne's house, we went and picked out all of her furniture. In order to get what she wanted, it had to be custom made furniture because she's very particular about what she likes. We went and got her flooring picked out, and the carpet, of course, had to be ordered in, and the vinyl flooring she picked out also had to be ordered in. And from what I remember, her carpeting has come in, but the vinyl flooring hasn't, and it's been ordered for like 3 weeks or so now. So I don't know how long that's going to take for that to get in, because she doesn't want them to come in and start doing her flooring until, you know, everything is in. So that way she can just have her house tore apart. And then I'm probably going to have to go back up and re-clean, because they're ripping out a lot of old carpeting, which is no big deal. What? You're just laying down here smiling. And there really hasn't been too much going on other than Miss Lydia is home right now. She keeps peeking in on me from out of our kitchen, and it's kind of creeping me out because there's not usually anybody here whenever I'm sitting here doing this, so it's kind of weird. I got most of my flower beds straightened out. I've got to take care of my rose bushes yet. There's quite a few dead branches on them, but I like to try and wait until about, I don't know, middle to end of May before I cut those pieces out, just to be sure, because sometimes I've had it before where right now they look like they're dead, but then a little later in May they start getting the leaves and the little branches and stuff like that on them. So I'm just going to leave it alone for right now. But other than that, I've got everything cleaned out. We've got a couple stinky moles running through a couple of my flower beds, and that's a pain in the butt. We've gotten more of them. So across the street from us, there used to be our middle school. We no longer have a middle school. The grades got split up in between elementary school and the high school, and they tore that building down. And since then, my neighbors and I, we've all now starting to have trouble with moles like crazy through our yards. We did have issues with rats, and I mean like big rats. It was closed down. How long was the school closed down for? Probably about 4 or 5 years before they actually tore it down. They tore it down right before COVID, I want to say. So like 2019, I think it was tore down like 2019. And when they tore all that down, it was just like everybody on our block, we got infested, all of us. Like, and I'm talking like big rats. Like these suckers were like huge. And we live out in like the country, you know, we don't live in like a big city or anything. So like the biggest thing we've ever seen was like, you know, a mouse that's like this big, or like field mice, or what we usually will have trouble with. So we had a lot of like, those rats created so much trouble. We have a security system that goes around our house, and I couldn't figure out why different cameras were just, you pull up the security footage and different cameras were coming off, because we had a wired system at that time. And I couldn't figure it out. I was like, you know, like camera 3's out and 4's out, and I don't understand what's going on. And eventually we had a surround sound system for our Blu-ray and DVD player, and certain speakers for those were going out, and like they were, it wasn't like anything was getting into our cabinets and stuff and like eating food out of there, or like there was, you couldn't figure it out. And then eventually I don't know what happened. I think my husband was down here in our living room the one night, and he actually saw one run across the floor or something. And he was like, "We have rats," and I was just like, "Oh, great!" So then we got like rat traps and things like that, and put those up, and they would literally go and take the peanut butter and stuff off the traps, but never set the traps off. Like, these things were intelligent. So then we got like glue traps. We hate using those ones. I'd rather make it be quick. But like I said, the regular traps weren't working. So I was like, okay. So then we got glue traps and laid those all over the place. And they would get onto the glue traps, but they were so large that they would just pull themselves off the glue traps. And that wasn't working. And then I found out that they were getting into our dogs. They have dental chews and things like that. And because we got out rat poisoning, and because of the dogs, I was very strategic about where I placed them, because I didn't want them to get a hold of them, obviously. And they were not touching those either. So I just got the bag of the rat poison we got. Come on. And found out that they were chewing into the dogs. We have a back bathroom, and it's like kind of like our laundry room. There's a bathroom in there, and we store like extra things that don't need to be out and about in the house, that it's just kind of like a storage area essentially. And I found out that they were getting into, like, I had 2 giant bags of these dogs dental chews for the dogs, and they had already went through one of the whole big giant bags. And so I was just like, you know what? This is the rat poisoning bag was made out of the same material as that bag. So I just switched them out. And that's how we ended up killing them. I forget how many there were, but I would like go into like that right there, the black drawer system there. I would open that up, and I would find like this massive rat, it was dead, obviously, curled up in there. Or that summer, we ended up having to replace the foundation over here of our house, because it had the old, this house was built in 1912. So it had like the old sort of like clay cinder blocks. Like, they weren't very sturdy. Like, the slightest thing you could probably flick them with your hand and they'd start to shatter. But it was starting to buckle in the one spot, so we wanted to get it before anything happened with it. Theo, stop. And so we were in the process of pulling all of that out, and I don't know how many we found, like, in between, like, the blocks and stuff like that unfortunately, like, they were dead, obviously. And my husband couldn't believe, like, how many of them there were, because we have never had that issue. Like, we might occasionally get, like, a little mouse. I've lived here in this house now for 13 years, and I think we've had mice maybe twice, and this was the first time we've ever had, like, actual rats. And I don't know, it was just an insane process. But like I was saying, because of that being tore down and the school building being tore down, like, we're getting problems with, like I said, the moles. They're just, I don't know how many of my perennial flowers are going to pop up this year. Like, they've devastated quite a bit. So I guess we're just going to have to get some stuff for moles and put that out. And I feel bad doing that one. I don't know if we can, I don't know if we have a live trap that's small enough for those guys, and then just take them out. My grandparents, well, I guess it's not my grandparents anymore. My aunt and uncle live on my grandparents. They own a very, very large farm. I forget how many acres. It's almost 100 acres of farmland and stuff like that. And it has quite a few fields and things like that out there. If we can trap them and relocate them, that would be nice. You're a goober. and see if we can maybe relocate them out there. We've had to do that before. We've had skunks, we've had stray cats, we've had possums, porcupines. What else have we got? But we have live traps to trap those sort of things and relocate them back to where they belong. I don't like to harm things unless I really absolutely have no other option. But, yep. Mr. Theo thinks he needs to have all the attention on him today. Don't you? Don't bug your sister. Don't be mean to her. She's behaving herself. You be nice to her. But, I mean, Camille, he can sit up here too. Oh, we're going to get a sibling fight here in a second for some reason. You two are usually well behaved. But not a whole lot has been really going on. I mean, I had my nephew a couple days. He's been he's always fun to have. I'll get him Tuesday night, and I should have him till Thursday. He's my little firecracker. He usually has some fun. Oh, we had Lydia's birthday party. She chose to have brownies, and we made brownie sundaes, and I made homemade hot fudge for those brownie sundaes. She turned 8. She had a good time. Both Abigail and Lydia got Student of the Month this month, so that was exciting. Got to go to Lydia's, what do you want to call it, award ceremony, and get her to see her have her reward. Her goal is, her sister Abigail has received Student of the Month every single year she has been in school. I don't care. And sorry, Lydia she wrote a message. She wanted to ask if she could tell you guys about something. But Abby has received Student of the Month every single year that she was in school. So kindergarten through 7th grade, she has received Student of the Month at least once throughout the year. And then her 6th grade year, she also got the Good Citizenship Award. Now, Lydia's goal is to be like her big sister and also receive Student of the Month every single year. She did not receive Student of the Month her kindergarten year. However, she got the Center Langerholic Award, which is even harder to achieve than Student of the Month because it's only given out to one student in her class, and she was able to receive it. And so, even though she didn't get Student of the Month or kindergarten year, she has got it her 1st and 2nd grade year. Now, Lydia wants to come over here and tell you a story, so I'm going to have her come over here and she can tell you a story.
Okay.
They can't see you. You can just come over here and sit on my lap.
Okay, so we had this...
You need to look at there.
So we had this stray cat in our yard named Princess. And one time whenever me and my neighbor was playing in the yard, in the sand pit, I was the one who said Princess is giving birth to a kitten, and we saw her give birth to one cat. We fed her, we gave her water to drink, and she didn't want us leaving her kitten alone, so she went into the garage with her kitten. So we gave her the food and the water, and then we left her alone.
But we had to find somebody to take those kitties, right?
Yeah, we did.
But we had to find somebody to take those kitties because Theo isn't a big fan of cats, and he was trying to eat them.
And and the kittens also died. I can't remember why they died though.
they passed because when the stray cat came into our yard, she was already very pregnant, but she had like a Seresto collar on. So we had tried to find like who her owners were, and she was here for about a month before she gave birth. So she was extremely malnourished because it was literally days before she gave birth that I think, oh no, like this cat, poor cat, it probably got pregnant. And I mean, she barely even looked like she was pregnant. The poor kitties were underdeveloped and everything else. So that's why they didn't survive, honey. They just didn't survive because, unfortunately, they weren't able to get the nutrition that they needed through mommy while they were in her belly.
I mean, we did feed her and she ate all of it.
Yes, we did feed her, but it wasn't in enough time.
We'd feed her in the morning and then after dinner.
Yeah, we'd feed her a lot because we were trying to find who her owners were, but we couldn't figure out who her owners were. Okay, you gonna go back to painting now? Okay. I think now I'm gonna get into what I worked on this month. So the first thing I worked on was Gaia the Earth Goddess by Bella Filipina. It is on 28 count Monaco, and it is hand dyed. And I will stick a picture of what it will look like. And I believe I have a picture of where you saw it last month, if it was in there. And this is where I got this month. See if I can get that stayed there. So I worked on this one for only 3 days of this month because I started working on it previously in the month of March. So it only got 3 days in April that I got to work on it. The next one is the epic Disney Princess Sao by the Clouds Factory. I worked on this one 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 days, so for a full week. And it is stitched on 18 count. It is hand dyed by me. This is the massive one. So last month, I'll show you. Well, it doesn't really show what it's going to look like in the end because, like I said, I added a bunch of other Disney movies that I am charting. And I forget how many more I have to chart before I can start sticking them on here. But I've been stitching some, and when I don't feel like stitching, I've been doing charting work to put the other movies on here. But last time you saw I was working on Beauty and the Beast. And I finished them, and now I've moved on to Milan, and that's how far I got on Milan. So that's how much I got done this month. I'll fold that later. Next one I worked on, be this one. Next one is, it feels like there's more one attached there, but there's not. Victorian Village. It is, you can find this on Etsy at the Cross Stitch TR, and it is on 25 count, and I'll show you a picture of what it looks like whenever it'll be finished. And then also where it was, I believe last month, or well, the last time you saw it, and this is where we are now. I believe I worked on in here is what I worked on. What do you need, Pumpkin?
Nothing. I just like watching you.
Oh, okay.
You look good.
Thank you. Next one I worked on, this would be a new start. I started on April 15th. I will put a picture up of what it will look like when it's finished. It is Aquila, Queen of the Skies by Bella Filipina. It is on 28 count Monaco, and it is dyed by me. I also took a picture of what the fabric looked like before I even stitched anything on it, because I did have a couple people wanting to see what the whole fabric looked like. And then I'll show you this. This is where I got. We've got some of the metallic thread in. Pretty much anything that doesn't have stitching on it at this point, it's beaded. So I got a full, I think it's a quarter of a page done. And obviously her skin is stitched 1/1, everything else is stitched 2/2. All right.
Seal no bite.
Oh, I worked on that one. I think I didn't tell you. Victorian Village, I worked on it for 5 days. And Aquila, I worked on it for 5 days. Lady Justice. This is the one I was working on when I got sick. So there were, I may have touched it for, out of 2 days, those 2 days, I may have touched it for 15 minutes. And then I was like, nope, I'm going back to bed. This is Lady Justice. I'll put up a picture of what it will look like when it's finished. It's made by Mirabilia. It's on 28 count Monaco, of course hand dyed by me. I started this in March of this year. And this is what she looks like now. So last time I was about right here. So I stitched all of this up here. And again, skin is stitched over 1, everything else is stitched over 2. All right, and the last and final one I started on April 27th, so it is a new start, and I only have one more new start that I need to do. No, 2 more new starts I need to do, and then I'm not going to be starting anymore for a while. This one I started on, well, you know, I'll put up a picture of what it'll look like when it's finished. This is Cleopatra, Queen of the Nile by Bella Filipina. I started it on April 27th. It's on 28 count Monaco. It is hand dyed by me. And I guess there's no pictures to show you what it looked like last time. And I've stitched on this one. It'll be 4 days in April, and then today I'll finish the last day of stitching on it, so that way it makes it 5 days, and then I'll switch to something else. Well, actually, I'll go straight to stitching the Disney piece, because that's my focus piece, so that gets touched every single month, at least. And I also have a picture of what the fabric looked like before I ever started stitching on it. And I'll show you that. And this is what she looks like right now. Of course, the skin is being stitched 1/1, which is what I'm currently working on, is the skin. Metallic threads have already been put in, so once I fill in all the skin, it'll just be beads left over. Wow, total blank. So I made a couple, I got some fabric because I have my husband make my scroll frames. It doesn't require much work to make them. And I have quite a few of them. So, Lydia, can you hand me one of those down there? Just one of them. Yep. So I made scroll frame covers to go over top of my work, because I am somebody who hates taking things on and off the frames once they're on there. I kind of like them on there permanently. So you guys should feel special whenever I'm, you know, unhooking them from things, because I hate doing that. But I made, I don't know how many of those covers, so that way they go over top of the work, so, you know, keep them protected. So that way, you know, no dust and things like that are getting on them. And then I also made a bunch of these, I guess they're scroll frame grime guards to help protect the fabric while like I'm stitching on them. Even though, you know, I wash my hands like crazy and I do all the things to keep it, you know, nice and tidy. You know, I just like the extra assurance that, because these are hand dyed, these ones here particularly are hand dyed fabrics, so they won't get washed after I'm done stitching on them. So doing everything I can to keep them nice and clean, because I don't want any boo-boos. So yeah, we made, I think we spent $70, and we made, how many frames is that? I believe 5 24-inch frames and 3 26-inch frames, if I'm correct. But $70 to essentially make, I mean, we essentially made, I think 7, 1, 2, 3, I think we made 6 frames, so we essentially paid like $12 per frame, which I really don't think that's a bad deal. And then, did I buy anything this month? I don't think I bought anything this month. Yes, I did. I think it's in this one. I bought... Nope, it's not in this one. I don't know where it's at. But I did buy something this month, and it was another Mirabilia chart, and I bought all the things to kit that up. So, other than that, that's everything that's happened this week. Well, this month. Theo, you want to be in the spotlight, huh? You love attention, don't you? Yes, you do. And I think that's it. So, thanks for watching. Don't really have any plans for next month. I don't really make plans, because plans and me, we don't get along. If I sit down and I make plans, then it makes me not want to stitch on things. So it's pretty much what I do is I try and stitch on something for at least 5 days straight. So if I pick something out as something I want to stitch, and then I just stitch on it for 5 days. The only plans that are kind of set in stone is that Disney style, because like I said, I want to get it done this year. And I might have to start pulling that one out and making it so that way I have to stitch on it for a full 10 days instead of 5 days, because I need to get worked on it. Lydia wants to show you guys her cross stitch that she's working on.
I am working on this rainbow, and let me show you what. My mom finished this rainbow, and I got to this orange part. She did the rest of the colors, so that way I know where they would be at. And I am really happy that I get to do cross stitch now.
Let me see your cross stitch.
Yeah, I haven't finished it yet.
This is Lydia's. It's on 14 count. And it was just a little doodle, and then I just picked out random colors that were closest to the colors of a rainbow for her.
I mean, those are the colors of the rainbow. We just need the clouds, but there's not enough room.
Yeah. Okay, are you good now?
The thread's at the back.
Yeah, the thread is usually at the back, honey. Are you happy now?
Yeah.
Okay. Alright, well, I think that's everything. I don't think there was anything else I needed to go over. Nope, don't think so. Cam, do you have any last words? You have any last words, Cam? Cam, do you have any last words? You want to tell everybody hi? Say hello? Yep. Say hello. Hello. Hello.
He's just too cute.
Yeah, got me. Ooh.
Theo, hey.
But thanks for watching, guys. I will see you guys next week with a Stitch with me. And that's it. See you guys next time.